The headlines on Sunday focused on the hybrid solar eclipse, which would attract the world to Pakwach, a trading center little known. Tourists from France, Ireland, England, and Africa came and witnessed the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Pakwach, located in Nebi district, had a few but not the best facilities. Accommodation was limited and all places were already booked and occupied. A hotel on the highway could be seen but still unfinished. It hosted a number of domestic and international tourists. Most of the tourists occupied game park lodges such as Chobe Safari Lodge, where the president spent the night. Pakwach is known for fishing, and majority of them sell this to earn a living, which is later on smoked and salted. According to Jessica Dukoto, she says it is a delicacy.
This one is angara, called angara. Very sweet fish. Very sweet.
You eat it with what? What do you eat it with?
Even in kalo, even in cassava, it's okay. Maize, everything, and rice. And you're cooking even with the gina, so cooking oil, you're making whatever you want.
How much do you sell it?
Now we are selling at 15,000. And that pepper fish we are selling at 13.
Pakwach has its own symbols that differentiate it from other areas, and one of them is the bridge that crosses the River Nile, a river locals in Pakwach are careful to recommend for first-time visitors to swim or take a bath. It's also a traditional taboo for foreigners on the land to bath at the river, a reason perhaps why it was heavily guarded during the eclipse. And President Museveni graced the moment, arriving at 3 p.m. where he first opened the monument at Owinyi Primary School. The monument will remain a symbol that Pakwach was the only place in the world which had the best view. A British-born follower of eclipses around the world called Chris says this is the 13th eclipse he has seen, and he loves the beauty and moments involved in viewing these historical events.
Uganda is because most of the eclipse is total in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's very expensive and difficult to take a boat to where it's going to be total. So then it crosses Gabon, which doesn't really have any infrastructure. It's very difficult to get around. Then Congo and DRC, which DRC is a war zone really, and Uganda is the first accessible country where the eclipse is reasonably long, where there's good infrastructure, and there's also other things to do as well, like Murchison Falls National Park and the gorillas, which I've always wanted to do. So I'm here for 2 weeks, and this is my 14th total eclipse of the sun.
Ministry of Health had already taken the initiative to warn Ugandan citizens against using the naked eye to watch the eclipse in the sky, since it would cause blindness. But Chris says even when someone has the protective gear, such as the ultraviolet sunglasses, they only need to take a look at it for at least 10 seconds, and they shouldn't persist in viewing for longer periods.
Must only look at the sun when it's total. So for most of the country, they shouldn't really look at the sun at all. There are special glasses you can buy, and the way you use them is to the only way you use it is to look up at the sun very quickly just to see how the partial eclipse is coming, and then you look away.
Owinyi Primary School, a school 7 miles from Pakwach Trading Center, has become popular due to the eclipse, and only time can tell how many tourists will come to look and take pictures at the monument built at the school. The event came with its merits as the school was painted and given a new look. However, with many Ugandans who cannot afford air tickets and travel costs to other nations, most will have a story to tell through the t-shirts and souvenirs bought to remember this historic day.
Next year there's no total eclipses of the sun, but in 2015 there will be an eclipse in the northern hemisphere. It will cross the Faroe Islands, which is a group of islands between the UK and Iceland. So it will be a very high latitude eclipse, and that one will be longer. It will be 2.5 minutes long. And then in 2016, there will be an eclipse that will pass through Indonesia. And I'm hoping to be in the island of Sulawesi for that one. And then in 2017, it will cross the United States of America. So that's the next 3 eclipses, the next 3 total eclipses.
As optimistic as anyone would be for the future, Pakwach was visited by foreigners and Ugandans who had never made a trip, but for sure, the local trading center won't remain the same after the one-day hybrid solar eclipse. Reporting for Channel 44 News, Andrew Nitwe.